Hey, it's Oz here, continuing with the Xmind 8 tutorials video series, and I'm assuming that you've already downloaded Xmind 8. If you haven't, then check the description below this video for a link to the video that shows you how to download Xmind 8 and how to set it up. And once you've done that, then open up Xmind 8 and then you can follow along as I'm doing stuff on the screen. You can pause the video and copy me on your screen. Okay, so let's take off where we left. I've already covered the intro, so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to select the intro box. I'm going to click on this flag here, which is the markers panel. And when I click on this, it's going to open up a panel on the right hand side and it's going to show me a load of markers. Okay, now I'm going to select this one here, which is the green tick. And then I'm going to click on the flag again to close the panel. And you can see now that my intro box has a green tick, which tells me visually that I've already covered this. How cool is that? Okay, so now we're going to continue with mind mapping uses. I'm just going to quickly cover all the things that you can do with mind mapping. And I know that you'll probably have your own things in mind already, but it's worth going through this because there might be some ideas in there that you haven't thought of. And some of them may actually be quite handy. I'm just going to cover all the things that I use Xmind for. And after that, we'll get stuck into the tutorials. Okay, so let me click on the plus here and you'll see that there is a branch named uses. And there's another plus. So I'm going to click on that and that's going to open up a lot of branches. And we're going to be going over all this in the next module, so I won't cover that now. Okay, so the first thing obviously is Brainstorm, and I say obviously because mind mapping software was designed for exactly that. I use Xmind all the time. Every time I have an idea, I use it to brainstorm, and the reason for that is that you can write down the things that you're thinking of, but your brain thinks a lot faster than you can write. And if you try to type your thoughts, then that's even worse. Now, when we get to the brainstorming tutorial, I'll show you exactly how I use it and you'll see how incredibly fast it is. I don't know of anything else that's as fast as this when it comes to capturing your thoughts in the moment. And you'll see why I use it to brainstorm every single idea. Okay, so the next thing is to-do lists. I do use Xmind a lot to break up different tasks. And I do switch between Trello and Google Keep and Wunderlist, and I have tried basically tons of software, time management software and productivity software. I've been doing this for over a decade now, trying to always improve my process, and I tell you what, it's not easy. I also switched to Excel and then to notepads and then just to writing on a piece of paper, and I end up creating an overwhelming trail of notes. But Xmind is the tool that gets me back on track. It's just the most effective way for me to map out all my thoughts, my to-do lists, my tasks, and more. So I'm going to go to the next one, which is organize your day. I do use it to organize my day a lot, especially when I have a ton of stuff to do. And you'll see exactly how I do that and why it's a lot better than taking notes. Book planning. Now, when I'm planning a book, I like to use Xmind to map out all the different chapters and then create branches out of each chapter with thoughts and ideas about how I want that chapter to develop. Think of it like bullet points in a presentation, but much cooler. Okay, so the next one is project management, and there's a ton of project management tools out there. Ultimately, you're going to use what you're most comfortable with, but Xmind is definitely one to at least try and see how it fits in with what you do. I can almost guarantee that you'll use this tool to brainstorm any project idea before you actually get to the project management phase. Okay, so teaching. Now, you can use Xmind to teach in exactly the same way that I'm doing right now. It's great for conveying information, as you can see. So the other one is selling. Now, I have used Xmind over the years to sell ideas and concepts and services to clients. And the way I've done that is almost like teaching, because you present your idea in Xmind and you go along the branches and you explain what each thing is. And at the end of it all, the client ends up with a visual map of how everything works. For example, I've used it to give you a real example to present SEO campaigns, marketing campaigns, to show exactly what each step was going to involve, what we were going to do, and what we were going to achieve. Now, had I sat in front of a client and explained all that, or talked to them for about half an hour or 45 minutes on the phone, then I think I would have lost them within the first minute. Doing this keeps the attention of the viewer on track. And that leads me on to the next one, which is presenting. And as you can see, they all sort of overlap, especially teaching and selling and presenting, because they're very similar. So presenting doesn't need much of an explanation. Take what I'm doing right now. I'm presenting a topic to you, and I'm actually using Xmind. Okay, so the next one is mapping out ideas, and this is the next step from brainstorming. Brainstorming really is when you bring a blank slate, so to speak, and you start throwing ideas at it to see what sticks. Now, when you have an idea, then you do want to map it out. For example, if I have an idea to create an app, then I can use Xmind to very quickly map out what I'm going to do in each area of that app, how that development is going to take place. What about the interface? What does the interface consist of? What about the functionality? What will the app do? And so on. Now, I've got here mapping out a business, and that's something that I've done before, and these end up being enormous mind maps. Not unwieldy, of course, because you can close down all the branches like this, and I'll show you that in one of the tutorials. But nonetheless, it's very handy, or it can be very handy. And to give you a real example, one of the things that I've done in the past a few times when I've been mapping out a business idea is to map out all the departments or all the moving pieces that I thought the business would need. Okay, and lastly, we have etc. And the reason I put that in there is because, as is obvious by now, you can use this tool for almost anything you want. It's super versatile, and seriously, your imagination is the only limit. Okay, so that's going to wrap it up for this module. So I'm going to click on that, click on the flag again, and I'm going to mark that as complete. I'm going to click on the flag again to close that, and I'm even going to close all the branches just to show off. Okay, so in the next module, we're going to be getting into the interface. I'll see you there.